Job would I want to have?
Yeah, right.
I really can't think of one.
Yeah, right.
Seriously.
I know.
Fly a jet? No. I mean, really, think about my job.
I know.
In this room, we're the best players in the league. Every coach brought his best guy. Not his best player, but his best guy, right?
Right.
You know, nobody brings a jackknife to this thing, right?
Yeah.
The best dudes. So I get to meet JP, and I get to meet Gus, and I get to meet all these kids. I get to meet them. And they talk to me like I'm somebody. I'm like, and guess what? Friday, I get a paycheck, and they pay me $165,000 to do what I would pay them $165,000.
That's amazing, right? It's a pretty good.
It's a gig.
Good world to be involved
It's a gig, and to be able to have made it to the age of 62 and still be in it. Because I'll be 62 the 25th of July, and everybody in this profession gets carried out. Who goes out on their feet? Joe Paterno, anybody.
Yeah,
Barry
right.
Switzer, name a college coach that went out on his feet.
Yeah.
I'll carry it out.
You will. Lavelle went out the way he wanted to go. Coach Erickson's still banging away at the age of 70 because he's not ready to say, I'm being carried out.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not dead.
Yeah.
You know, and I think about it all the time now. How many coaches have sat in this room that are no longer in this room?
Totally.
And in the Big Sky, Bobby went up, got blasted. Nobody's going up and out of the Big Sky.
Right.
Nobody. Bo might be the next candidate.
Sure.
But given the history, Coach Wolf went up and got blasted. Chief Dennis went up and got blasted. Just go on and on. John Hill went up. Gilby went up.
Yeah. Well, now it's the
Mick
point.
went up.
Well, now it's the point where the Big Sky has gotten good enough too. What job do you leave for? You know what I mean? Now it's like leaving for a UNLV job or something like that. It's not. You're not leaving for a better job at all.
Yep.
So that, yeah, it's definitely.
It was interesting when Montana State hired Jeff, because Jeff's a young enough guy. There should be some space in his career if he wants to make a jump.
Right.
Because no one has jumped and stayed alive unless their school went, and that was Chris Hall.
Yeah. Right.
No one jumped. God dang. Think of the coaches. Look at every guy's record. Show me the coach that went up and became better
Yeah.
after being a head coach.
That's crazy. That's an interesting point.
Every time a guy jumps, you just say, see ya.
Yeah. See ya.
Out, later,
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah. Yeah, that's wild. So I already got the whole scoop on Idaho State from the other week. So just a half a dozen kind of state of the league questions for you. So
State of the league?
yeah. So first of all, what are your thoughts on the scheduling aspect of things with the unbalanced schedule, not playing everybody every year?
I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. That means I can't talk about the league. There's 6 teams I don't see this year.
Right.
I haven't seen Davis since Ronald Reagan was governor.
Seriously.
Seriously, I haven't. I hate it. I don't like it. I'm not in favor of it. I don't like it. I'm not being outspoken. You ask a question, I'm going to give you the answer. If it hurts people's feelings, I'm sorry, but I hate it. I don't like an unbalanced schedule. The league is too big. This is too unwieldy. This is. Somebody has to say it. This is just not comfortable. And everybody's uncomfortable with it because everybody talks about it all the time.
Right.
It's just it precludes all conference balloting. It precludes playoff selection. We have so many teams. We get lost in the in the long list of scores on the East Coast by the East Coast media. And the East Coast media is not the selection committee,
Right.
but they influence the selection committee. Did Montana play and they won? Good. I'm voting for Montana. Did NAU win and play? Who'd they play? Southern Utah? Southern Utah's god awful. I'm not voting for NAU.
Right.
Did Cal Poly win? Oh, yeah, well, they've been in the playoffs. I'll vote for them. You can't rise your program. You might have, in the last year, the best teams in our league cannot get enough East Coast recognition to be in the polls enough. We're so big, we can't get enough teams. We get fewer teams in the playoffs now because we've added teams
Right.
on a percentage basis.
Right.
Because if you took the number of teams from the Great West that were in the playoffs, and the years we'd get 3 in out of the Big Sky, the percentage is less. The result more has produced less by getting this big. I thought I knew what the vision was under Commissioner Fullerton.
Yeah.
I'm not sure anybody else knew what the end game was supposed to be.
Right.
I think the potential loss of Montana and Montana State to the league forced us to grow.
Right.
You know, so now we're faced with the Pac-12 who's become its own empire, especially with its TV contract. The Mountain West Conference, which is now struggling to find its niche, and the Big Sky Conference, which has become this unwieldy 14-team traveling circus type of deal that wants to preserve an 8-game schedule. Then Montana and Montana State can't play 9 because then they won't play enough guaranteed 6 home games and an 11-game schedule. The math is working against our continued development, and the challenges to our new commissioner are strong. It'd be awesome for me to watch how she unfolds it.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, we talk about that all the time with the whole East Coast thing. It's like there's no way you're telling me that some team from the Northeastern Conference or something like that is as good as the teams that the Big Sky have.
Number one, they can't be. But number two, we work against ourselves by being such an unwieldy group. Now you add Idaho to the mix in the same conference, and we don't play each other, and all of a sudden, geez. Now what? I mean, what is it now?
Right.
And if you're on the East Coast and you're not at this meeting and you're not listening to the commissioner talk about things, you're like, what are they trying to do?
Yeah, right.
So, at any rate, win the conference and shut the heck up.
Yeah, right.
Or shut the heck up.
Right. So what's the solution though? Would you like to see it shrink?
Here we go. Here we go. Play an 11-game conference schedule.
Okay. Just one non-conference or just
None.
none? Okay.
None.
So then you only miss one team every year.
Well, then you'd only miss,
I guess 2
15,
teams.
3, isn't it?
Yeah, sure.
You play 11 opponents.
Yeah.
There's 15 teams, you'd miss 4.
Okay.
Then scheduling's easy.
Yeah. So
You're like, I've never heard that.
no, I think that, but
We've talked about
it seems like such a good idea though.
Great, because you know what else it'd do? It would solve the unfairness of having to play a money game.
Right. Exactly.
Not only schedule a money game, then try to find a hapless opponent
Right.
to balance it.
Right.
Because our scheduling is all over the map. Let's
Right.
play each other.
Right.
We got nice enough stadiums. We're close enough.
Yeah.
Why should Northern Arizona have to play Arizona or Arizona State every single year? Why? Last year they got beat by 70. It ended up being 8-4 in our conference and not getting it, or 7-4 in our conference and not getting into the playoffs because they had a 70-point loss, or they gave up 70 to the University of Arizona.
Right.
It's counterproductive. We've lost to UNLV by 72. I mean, 72 points. I said into the headphones in the first quarter, if we don't slow down, they're going for 100. We keep playing these games, and that $17 million television contract keeps dragging that program those programs at the Pac-12 farther and farther away from where we're at. And we have 2 of them scheduled back to back this year. That's not a mountain. That's outer space.
Yeah. Do you see the not only physical but mental effects on your kids?
Oh, yeah.
Especially when you do the back-to-back.
Remember now, last year one of our teams beat a Pac-12 opponent to a bowl game, right? Yeah, we lost to Boise 52-0, and the next week lost 80-8 to UNLV, and we never recovered psychologically. And the challenge that I face this year, easily hands down, is how can I coach my team through 2 seasons, the first 3 and the last 8. Right. I don't care about those first 3. I really don't. I'm going to make sure we survive.
Right.
I don't care what the score is. It's literally, I really do not. Because I want to come out of Corvallis and go home and say, okay, great, preseason's over. Let's go.
Right. Well, it's like Jay was saying, his first year they lose 70-7 to Utah, and they just have no confidence after that. And then last year, they go 14-14 in the second half with Arizona State. Even though they lose 41-14, he said that you would have thought that they won the Super Bowl because they didn't lose by 60 points. So that's interesting.
So if we went to an 11-game conference schedule, it would be apples to apples.
Sure.
Apples to apples, man.
Yeah.
It would be good for. Wouldn't that be unique? Now, if I'm on the East Coast and we're saying, out of the Big Sky, they play an 11-game, they have no non-conference games. Yeah, just like the Ivy League.
Right?
Hey, nobody's ever talking about it. I'm just trying to think.
Yeah, right. That's a great idea. So another talking point among college football right now, graduate transfers. You've seen it really affect this league the last couple of years. What are your thoughts on that rule?
It's the same thing. I feel I don't like it at all. I also don't believe that a guy should be able to play beyond 4 years. I also believe we shouldn't redshirt anybody.
So you think you should just give 5 years of eligibility?
4 years. 4 years eligibility unless you get hurt. I don't believe in redshirt.
Right.
I used to think it was great because everybody else was doing it. Everybody else was playing 22-year-old guys. Now, because of APR,
Right.
even if you're a have-not school, your guys are graduating in 4.
Right.
So, hey, let's play them. playing as freshmen. And so graduate transfers, I'm wholly opposed to that. And the two guys that are the marquee guys in this league have done it. One did it, and he's not playing anymore. Didn't enhance his opportunities anywhere. And the other guy, we'll see how he does.
Yep.
I hate it.
Yep. Full cost of attendance, what do you think of that?
None. They aren't paying you enough money. Get a job so you have enough money to spend on your iPad, iPod, and Netflix account.
Right. Been around the league for so long, so what do you think of the new commissioner and the changing of the guard, and what is the biggest, most pressing concern for the league right now?
I love her youth. I love her youth. I love the fact that while she's had various experiences, it's her first opportunity to be the boss. And so your management, your leadership dynamic changes entirely. And she's, in 2 days, impressed me with how she is able to meet and work with people, and how she's willing to have the decorum of running a conference that has a lot of emotion to it. This conference got a lot of emotion. I would not necessarily say we're stable. I wouldn't necessarily say we're not bipolar.
It's the best part about it, though. That's why we love what we do.
Everybody thinks they're going to be superstars. The three quarterbacks were totally unknowns last year on this day. And that's great, because that means that this
Two
year
of them didn't even know they were going to be starters. They didn't even know Cressa or Cookus were
there isn't a person on earth knew that those two guys, one's going to be an All-American, the other one's going to rise the program all the way to the playoffs. Take a program that was literally looking for any reason to close the doors permanently. Took a head coach who was willing to do whatever it took to keep his program afloat by their nose, right? Nose above water. And a quarterback that came in and led him to a win over a Pac-12 program. Awesome.
It's awesome.
That's the story, because those are stories you can't write. You can't write them now.
Right.
They don't exist.
Yeah, right.
So the unexisted is the best part of this.
Well, last question for you. Then. On that note, in the last 3 years, you've seen really good coaches take over at different programs. Jay and Weaver, Marty at Portland State, and now you have Jeff at Montana State. What do you think of all these new guys in the league, and what does it add to the competitive balance of the league?
Well, the best part of being a head coach in the conference is that your experience is so varied. So much more varied than it would be in a Division I program where you have a larger staff. Right. And there's a utility part of our profession that humbles you. I mean, you're still the guy that puts the tables together in your staff office. Right. You're still the guy that helps set up chairs for your team meetings. You're still the guy that sits at the front of the bus rather than the front of a plane. You're still the guy that's helping figure out where we're going to eat at McDonald's on a road trip because we're all busing. In this conference, you can be successful as a head coach if you're humble enough to not accept the current role of what everybody perceives a head coach to be. You've got to be humble. The humble you are, if you're humble, you will survive and you will provide. If you have aspirations beyond that, you will quickly run yourself out of the program.